Well, I adjusted the clutch pedal linkage underneath here, and that seems to have greatly improved the action of the clutch when I push the pedal down, so I'm going to restart it and give it another try. All right. Now I'm going to put the camera down and move the battery. I don't know what that noise is. I can't see anything hitting underneath there when I look at it with it off. Definitely puts a load on the motor when I do that. Watch the exhaust. Yeah, maybe not. It's gotta be this shaft wobbling really bad. You can see it moving back and forth about 1/4 of an inch there. Oh, I see what it is. It's this thing right here, this coupler. It's actually hitting this plate. You can actually see a couple of sparks fly every once in a while. I think that's what it is. Well, I mean, that's definitely hitting. That's a minor knocking noise back here, is that coupler hitting this. That major noise when I engage the clutch actually seems like it's something somehow hitting the starter bracket. Oh yeah! Right there on the starter housing. I'll shut it down so you can see. What's happening is when I push the clutch pedal down, the throwout bearing pushes in on those fingers, so these parts right here move out, and as this moves out, it's hitting the starter housing right there. So got a design issue with them trying to use this, well, one of several design issues of them trying to use this Hercules engine in this tractor. That original Earthmaster starter, not only does it not engage well, which is what grinded up these teeth on the flywheel, which gives me that horrible sound every once in a while when I go to start it that you've been hearing, but also the problem is that causes a clearance issue right there for the clutch. Son of a gun. Alright, so the question is, if I pull back on the starter motor, pull it up and flex that upwards a little bit, will that be enough to correct the issue? In other words, if I rig something up to pull this starter up this way, like that, flex it up like this, maybe I can clear that. Well, I'm trying to take old Smokey for a ride. I gotta cut this plank down, but for now, it's the only thing I had. This is a perfect thickness to push in there. That pries up on the back of this starter, aligns this bracket. Does a couple of things. Actually seems to help a little bit with the meshing of the ring gear and the starter pinion, and more importantly, it clears the bracket from the fingers on the clutch. So now, just barely touching it, just chattering a little bit. But more importantly, it disengages. So I'll actually be able to put it in gear. So, been a long time since I drove an Earthmaster, but I remember from way back when I was a kid, I always remembered that this little fill plug right here, that would indicate reverse. So that would be reverse over there if it would go in. So that should be first right there. What a riot. Actually works. I don't know if the brakes work at all. Yeah, I think the brakes actually work too. I'm going to put the camera down so I can steer through this area. Well, drove all the way over here and stalled, so now unfortunately it means I got to walk back and get the heavy battery. I don't know why it stalled. I did have the throttle with the RPM set kind of low, so I think I'll goose those up a little bit. Alright, got my vice grips holding the choke open. Turn the reset this screw to give me more RPMs. Try it again. Oh, the drive shaft coupling just pulled out. Damn. Alright. I better shut it down before it falls out. Well, this is interesting. This shaft doesn't go very far into this side of this coupling. The whole shaft, this whole shaft, I could slide forward, and then this wouldn't be rubbing up against this, which would be good. But the problem is then it's pulling out of this coupling, but then the coupling will slide off the transmission input shaft right there. But what would keep that out? I don't know, because this bolt doesn't appear to be doing anything. I can't tighten it anymore, and it doesn't go all the way through. There's a hole I can feel on the other side, but the bolt doesn't come out. So I don't know. I wonder if I just leave it like that, if it will stay, because I actually drove about 1,000 yards just like this. Well, that ain't working. As soon as I push in the clutch, the shaft starts to rattle like this, and that vibration causes this coupling to just move back, and then it slides out. So can't do that. Gonna have to figure out a way to make this work. It makes me wonder whether or not this piece of metal that they welded on here across the top, whether or not they were actually using this to actually purposely let this thing rub against this, and that would keep this shaft out this way more, which would keep it engaged more. Seems kind of crazy, but I mean, everything else on this thing looks like a complete hack job. Well, I thought of a temporary fix for this problem with this coupler. Problem is with this coupler, when this drive shaft is forward, it slips out, and the coupler doesn't engage the splined end of the shaft here. So what I found though is that if you slide this forward, it engages okay. So the trick is to keep this slid forward, and what I figure I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little hose clamp, and I'm going to tighten a hose clamp right around there and see how that works. Alright, so now with the hose clamp on there, this coupler doesn't want to slip back, so hopefully this will stay engaged. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to get to try out my my Mickey Mouse job on the drive shaft, because the motor won't stay running, and the way it's acting, it sure seems like it's carburetor related, fuel related. I got it to start. It was hard to start, and when I finally got it to start, it runs for about 15-20 seconds and then dies. And then if I wait, I can get it to run again. So it's probably got a fuel delivery problem here. Looks like we also got a leak here at the bottom of the bowl. Well, see if I can get it to start, show you what it's doing. Full choke, I can get it to start. Let's see. Now, I didn't shut it off, it just did that by itself. So that's what's making me think that it's running out of fuel. It's running off fuel in the bowl, but I think that we got a problem with the float sticking in a float needle seat or something.